And just find a comfortable seated position. And just rest the hands on the legs. Get nice and tall. So you're pulling the hips slightly forward. You're trying to keep that natural curve of the back. You're not overemphasizing it, but we're trying to avoid rounding the back. So sit on a block or something if you need to. And then just rest the hands on the legs. Broaden across the collarbones. We're trying to get more width across the up the collarbone, right at the top between the shoulders. Chin slightly tucked, or ideally parallel to the ground, head back, and then bring attention to the breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. Each inhale, pulling in more air, more oxygen. Exhale, make the exhale just as long as the inhale. Long, slow, deep breaths. Close the eyes, focus on the breath. Keeping the hands on the knees, just start rotating the shoulders. You can do one at a time or both together. I like to do one at a time, bringing the shoulder forward, up, back and down. And then I'll work on the other one. And maybe I'll switch from side to side a few times. And then just up and down, just trying to loosen up. We hold a lot of tension in the shoulders, so I'm trying to loosen up there. And then just bring one arm up, so bringing it parallel to the ground, extended forward, retracting the shoulder back slightly. And then we're going to take the other arm, and you're pulling above the elbow, and you're going to pull that arm in towards you. Finding an easy stretch, inhaling, getting tall. Exhale as you're pulling the arm in a little bit closer. So we're going a little deeper into that stretch with the exhale. 3 or 4 breaths. Really getting yourself taller on the inhale. Exhale, pulling the arm in a little bit closer. At the same time, you're trying to relax the shoulder joint. And then we switch. We bring the other arm up, shoulder back, and we start pulling that arm in. Finding an easy stretch. Inhale, tall. Exhale, pulling the arm in a little bit closer. Again, we're trying to relax at the same time we're stretching. And release. So we're going to come down into Sphinx. So come onto your mat. You're on the forearms. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. We're looking forward, and I'd like you actually to try and glue the hands to the mat, but you're trying to pull yourself forward and then opening that chest. Cores engaged, and then we're going to tuck the toes, and we're going to come into a forearm plank. As you come into the plank, the chin is also tucking, and you're looking towards the ground, and you're breathing. You're really pushing into the ground, shoulders up towards the ceiling, but try not to sink between the shoulder blades. And then bring the toes a little bit closer. Optional. Bringing one leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We switch legs, other leg comes up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We come all the way down, and we're just going to rest the forehead on the ground or on your hands and relax. We come back into Sphinx, and then this time we're going to walk the knees underneath the hips, and we're going to do Dolphin. This is a nice shoulder opener. Forearms can be parallel, or you can have the palms together, and we tap the toes. You keep the toes exactly where they are, you bring the hips up. So what happens in Dolphin, you start off shoulders over the elbows, but we're trying to straighten that line out, so you're pulling the shoulders back away from the hands. You're looking towards the legs. I would keep the knees bent. Dolphin, a lot of work in Dolphin. You're pushing into the ground to keep the head off the ground. Head should not be touching the ground. And you're trying to push the ground away from you. You're breathing. And then we come all the way down. Knees down to the ground. So what happens a lot in Dolphin is people get stuck like this, so they're stuck with the shoulders over the wrist. They can't get those shoulders back. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to open those shoulders. If the elbows go too wide apart, the head comes to the ground. So you've got to keep the elbows underneath the shoulders as well. It's a nice opening of the shoulders, but it's a tough pose. Downward facing dog, similar, but we're on the hands and knees. And again, a lot of times people are stuck, more like this with the shoulders over the wrist. So we're trying to get, as you know, most of you know, we're trying to get those hips back and up. And we're looking towards the belly button. So come into downward facing dog, take about 3 or 4 breaths. You're pushing the hands, the thumb and the index finger in particular, into the ground. Armpits towards the ground, you're getting more and more length. And then we bring the knees down. As you get that length, we're trying to straighten this area out of the wrist. So we're protecting the wrist, we're strengthening the wrist, so there's no stress on the wrist. So the more you get the sit bones back, the easier it is on the wrists. And another thing that's, a lot of people will say, we'll try and get the heels down. Some people can only get the heels down if you walk forward. The problem with that, it puts the angle of the wrist increases, so it puts more stress on the wrist. I'd rather you have the heels up if you need to. Eventually the feet are going to go down. Back is neutral, bend the knees if you need to, so you can get that neutral back. Sit on the heels, face this direction. Bring both arms up. Lines of energy through the arms. The hands are nicely lined up with the arms, so don't stick the fingers up into the sky, into the ceiling. Bring the right arm under the left arm, eagle arms. Bring the back of the hands parallel or the palms touching each other. And then sit tall, and then just bring the arms up for a breath or two. And then see if you can touch the nose with the thumb or the fingers for a breath or two. Release. Just move the shoulders a little bit. Shake the arms out. Bring the arms back up. Bring the left arm under the right arm. Get the hands parallel, the back of the hands or the palms. Bring the arms up towards the ceiling. See if you can touch the nose with the thumb or the fingers. Release. Interlace the fingers. Push the palms forward, arms extended, arms parallel to the ground. Bring the arms up, so the arms are either side of the ears, they're framing the face. And then interlace the hands behind you. Opening the chest. Shoulders down, shoulder blades together, and we're hinging at the hips, folding forward, and then carefully bringing the arms up, be kind to the shoulders. And then slowly come back up. So shoulders, really mobile. Shoulders are really mobile, so you've got to be careful with the shoulders. They're, unlike the hips, they're not a ball and socket. It's like a flat area with like a little plate on top, and it's held in place by tendons and ligaments and muscles. So we want to keep that joint nice and strong. So we go into shoulder stretches, carefully, but we want to stretch out. We want to get mobility there, but at least keep all that strength. So be careful with shoulders. Let's come into a standing position. Bring the feet together, or at least have the feet parallel. Inhale, sweeping those arms up. You're reaching up towards the ceiling, you're looking up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Looking between the legs. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Half salute. Inhale, sweeping those arms up. Reach up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Couple more. Inhale, reach up, engage the core. Exhale, folding forward and down, relaxing the head. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, sweeping those arms up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, we come all the way up. This time keep the fingers interlaced. Index finger towards the ceiling. You're framing the head again, arms either side of the ears, and we're going to take a side stretch. You're leaning over to one side, trying to keep the shoulders in line. Try not to bring that top shoulder forward towards the ground. It's almost like you're in between two panes of glass. Over to the other side. Inhale up, reach up. Exhale to the first side again. Hold this for a breath or two. You're looking up towards the ceiling. Going deeper with the exhale if it feels good. Inhale up. Exhale over to the other side. And release. Bring the arms either side of you. And we're just going to swing from side to side. So what we're going to do this time, we're going to take the feet apart. So there's about a foot or so between the feet. So we're just swinging the arms. So the arms are pretty loose. And then as one arm comes round, you're going to tap the shoulder. And you're going to tap the back with the back of the hand with the other arm. Arms are nice and loose. So we're just warming the spine up, getting a little bit twist, warming the arms up, just loosening up a little bit. And then just unwind. It's just like a spring losing its tension. We bring the feet together, we bring the hands onto the knees, and we just circle the knees, keeping the knees nice and close to each other, circling in one direction. And then we circle in the other direction. And then we just straighten the legs and bend the knees, just keeping the hands on the knees. This is supposed to be good for the knees. And then you're going to keep the knees bent. And we bring the arms up, so we've come into chair. And we'll do a gentle chair twist. So we're going to take one arm, so I'm taking the right arm, bringing it onto the left leg, palms together, left elbow up towards the ceiling, getting into that twist. Breathe. And then we twist in the other direction. We come back into chair, and then we come all the way up. So come to the front of the mat. back into chair, knees bent, inhale the arms up, exhale fold forward and down, inhale halfway up, exhale we plant the hands, we come into plank, knees down, chin chest forward and down, inhaling into cobra, opening that chest up, if the arms are straight, hips are off the ground, exhale downward facing dog. Bring the feet pretty close, so there's an inch or two between the big toes. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, see if you can touch the right elbow with the right knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to chin. Inhale, extend. We switch legs, inhaling as the other leg comes up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to chin. Inhale, extend. Top foot joins the bottom foot. We bring the knees down and we come into child's pose. 3 or 4 breaths. Back onto your hands and knees. Toes tucked, downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, knees bent, inhale into chair, exhale all the way up. Knees bent, inhale chair. Exhale fold forward and down. Inhale halfway up, exhale we plant the hands, we're in plank. Chaturanga on knees, chin, chest to ground. Inhaling into cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feet closer. Inhale the right leg up. And then a hip opener. We're stacking the hips, we're bending that top knee. You're trying to keep both hands on the ground. We're just opening that hip. And then we extend the leg, top foot joins the bottom foot. Other leg comes up, extended down dog. We stack the hips, bending that top knee. Take a breath or two. Top foot joins the bottom foot. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward, knees bent. Inhale into chair. Exhale mountain. Chair pose. We're going to take another twist. So right arm onto the outside of the left leg, palms together. This time we're going to look at the feet, and this is a bit of a challenging transition. We're going to take that right foot back, coming into a crescent twist. If you want to bring the back knee down, that's just fine. So I'm pushing that arm, that right arm into the leg, get a bit of more leverage, back leg is straight. And then we bring the hands down to the ground. Plank, chaturanga, inhaling to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, knees stay bent. We're back in chair. And then we take the twist in the other direction. Bringing the left arm onto the outside of the right leg, palms together. Elbow towards the ceiling, and then we take the left leg back, coming into that high lunge with a twist, and breathe. We bring the hands down to the ground, into plank, chaturanga, into up dog, exhale, downward facing dog, bring the knees down. And we rest in child's pose. Just stay in child's pose. And then come back onto the hands and knees, downward facing dog. We look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward. Knees bent, we're back in chair, and then we come all the way up. So what we're going to do, we'll do warrior one, warrior two, Trikonasana, and revolve Trikonasana. And some people like a block. So if you do have a block for Trikonasana, it might be nice for you. You don't have to have it. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga into up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, we sweep that foot through and we readjust the back foot. We're coming into warrior one, bringing those arms up. So warrior one, front knees over the front ankle, back leg is straight, arms either side of the ear, so you're framing the head again. If you want to take a back bend, you bring the palms together, you look up. Exhale into warrior two. So warrior two, I tend to go a little bit wider with the legs, but I'm still keeping that right knee over the right ankle. And then I'm looking over that right ankle. So we're going to add eagle arms in warrior two. So you want to look, instead of looking over the front knee, you're looking in this direction, and you're going to take, if your right foot is forward, you bring the left arm under the right arm, and we're adding eagle arms. Getting that shoulder opener, and you're breathing. Keep working those legs. Keep that knee nicely lined up with the center of the foot. We come back into regular warrior two. We flip that front hand. We come into reverse warrior. And then we flow to the other side. We'll do triangle afterwards. Plank, chaturanga, inhaling to up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We sweep those arms up. We're coming into warrior one. Maybe a bit of a back bend. And then warrior two. Maybe take the feet a little bit wider, but keep that knee over the ankle, never forward of the ankle. And then we look side view, and we bring the right arm under the left arm, eagle arms. And then back into warrior two, reverse warrior, and we flow into plank, chaturanga, inhaling into up dog, opening that chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take down dog for a breath or two. Getting more length with the exhale. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Bend the knees. Inhaling into chair. Exhale. Samastiti or mountain pose. Bend the knees. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga. Inhaling to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one. Take a breath or two. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Now this time we're going to go into Trikonasana. So we come back into warrior two. We straighten that front leg. We reach forward, so we're hinging at the hips. And you bring that right hand down, left arm up. So wherever that right hand lands, that's the spot for you. So I I don't want you to reach forward, leg comes down, and then you slowly take that leg down. Because what happens is you start to round this area. We're trying to get the upper ribs the same length as the bottom ribs, which is why we reach, and when we come down, that's the spot. My top hip, I'm bringing that top hip slightly forward as well. That seems to relieve pressure on the hips. And don't let the head drop. Some people let the head drop like this. Don't let that head drop. You're looking up towards the ceiling. So what you can do here if you want, you can take that top arm behind the back and you can reach for the inside of the thigh. You might be able to get there, you might not. So you can get into a little bit of a spiraling action like this. And then if you have a block, the hand can be on the block instead of the shin if you want. We come back into Warrior Two. So the revolved version, what I tend to do is I hop that back foot in a little bit closer. And the block can be useful. If you have a block, you can have the block. And we, again, just like regular Trikonasana, we straighten both legs. But this time we sweep that back hand. And you can bring it either inside or outside the foot. I like to bring it outside the foot, on the block or onto the ground, and then you open up. So we're adding a twist here. Revolve Trikonasana. And then we unwind. We come back into Warrior Two, and instead of doing the flow to the other side, we're just going to rotate on the heels, and we'll come into Warrior One on the other side. Bit of a back bend, and then we exhale into Warrior Two. Warrior Two. So Warrior Two, I've readjusted the back foot so my feet make a 90-degree angle. And you make sure the arms nicely lined up, hands nicely lined up with the arms, none of this. And then we'll do reverse warrior. And then we come back into Warrior Two. We straighten the front leg. You reach forward as much as you can. You keep reaching forward. You keep reaching forward. And you bring the left hand down, right arm up, opening up. So one other thing in Trikonasana is you want to try and get external rotation of the upper legs. And you can get that just by bringing up the instep. You can get that external rotation. So just try bringing up the insteps. And if you want, you take the top arm behind the back, reaching for the inside of the thigh. You might get there, you might not. You breathe. We come out of Trikonasana into Warrior Two. I tend to step that back foot slightly forward before I go into the revolved version. I sweep that back hand, straightening the legs, and I bring that right hand onto the outside of the foot or inside of the foot, and you're opening up. You should be able to see that top arm, keeping that top hand nicely lined up with the arm. You're breathing. And then we unwind. We come back into Warrior Two, and since we're here, let's just straighten the legs, take them a bit wider, outer edges of the feet parallel, and if you have a block, the block can be there. So this is going to be another twist. So we're walking the hands forward so the hands are under the shoulders. The back, we're trying to keep the back neutral, and we bring the right hand under the shoulder. The right hand is centered. If you can be on a block if you want. Bottom shoulder pulled away from the head, shoulder blade in, and then we open up and we breathe. And we switch to the other side. Top hand comes down, open the chest up, and then we take the right arm up. And then we bring our hand down, and we're going to walk the feet together, heel toe, heel toe. Bend the knees and we slowly roll up, inhaling as the arms come up. Exhale, Samasthiti. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a few lunges. Lunges are nice because it stretches out the front of the back leg and it strengthens the front leg. So let's come to the front of the mat again. Into chair. Inhaling. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we're in plank. Chaturanga, inhaling into up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the feet a little bit closer to each other. And then inhale the right leg up. And exhale, we're going to sweep that foot through. So we're coming into a high lunge. Now the high lunge, it's different to Warrior Two because that back foot, so I'm on the toes of that back foot, so the foot is not pointing out. So both feet are lined up, both feet are pointing to the front of the mat. We're still keeping that front knee over the front ankle. So I'm feeling that stretch here. And then we bring the arms up, framing the face. If this is tough, you can bring the arms forward. You could even have a chair with the hands on the chair if you want to support yourself. And then we're going to slowly lower the knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to bring the hands behind us, opening the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, pulling the shoulders away from the head. So let's try this. Take, so the right knee is forward. So take the right arm, so I'm holding onto the right wrist with the left hand, and I'm trying to bring the back of the hands between the shoulder blades. And then we bring the other arm up and we try and hook the fingers. Once you've hooked the fingers, I'm trying to slide that lower hand up the back. I'm trying not to push into the head. If you're not there, what you can do, you can just hold on to the opposite elbows like this. So you're either holding onto the opposite elbows or you're hooking the fingers like this. And then we slowly bring that back knee off the ground and then we slowly lower. We bring the knee up and we slowly lower. And we bring the hands down to the ground. We come into plank. Chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. We bring the left leg up to the ceiling and we come into high lunge on the other side. Am I being too tough on you guys today? This is a tough one. So here, I mean, if you want to bring that back knee down, you can. You bring the arms up if you can, or arms extended forward, or as I say, you can have the hands against the chair. So we're stretching out the front of the back leg, we're strengthening that front leg. This is a tough pose. We're breathing. And then we slowly lower the knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's tough. I'm working hard here. So then we're going to add the arms. So the way I think of it, if whichever knee is forward, the opposite elbow goes up to the ground. So if the left knee is forward, we take the left arm behind. So I've got to grab that wrist with the other hand. I'm trying to bring the back of the hand between the shoulder blades. Then I bring the other arm up and I try and hook those fingers. As I say, if this is tough, your shoulders don't like this, just hold on to the opposite elbows. And then we're going to keep the toes of that back foot tucked, and we're just going to start to bring that back knee up, and we slowly lower. One more time, we bring the knee up and we lower. What happens a lot is people will come up like this and down. If you notice what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to keep that front leg in place. I'm just trying to bring the back knee up. It's a challenge. And then we release. Ah, that's good. We come into plank. We hold plank for 5. You're looking at the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1. You bring the right hand to center. You stack the feet. You bring the other arm up. Bottom knee can be down, or the top foot can be down in front of you. If you want more challenge, top leg comes up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back into plank. Side plank on the other side. Stacking the feet, or take whichever option is good. Bottom knee down or top foot down in front of you. More challenge for people. Top leg comes up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Top leg comes down. We're back in plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Knees come down. And we come into child's pose. And then we're on our hands and knees again, downward facing dog. We walk forward between the hands, inhaling halfway up, exhale, folding forward, bend the knees, we're back in chair, and then we come into a standing pose. Okay, so we've done a lot here. So we've done eagle arms twice. We did them at the beginning of the class, we did them while we're in Warrior 2. And we've done lots of chair, so we should do the full eagle. Or at least some of us are going to do the full eagle. We bring the feet together. We bend the knees. So we're back in chair. We bring the arms either side of us, and we bring the right arm under the left arm. You get in the back of the hands or the palms parallel. Center the arms up with the face. You can touch the nose or you can bring the arms up. You don't have to go any further, but if you want to add the legs, we take the right leg, we bring it on top of the left leg, and you squeeze those legs together. Maybe that's it for you, but maybe you can hook that foot. To hook the foot, you've got to squeeze those legs together, and then you center, you lean back slightly, you go sit down a little deeper, maybe bring the arms up, and you take a couple of breaths, maybe 3 breaths. And then we unwind, we release everything. A lot going on there. We're working on the shoulders, so you're feeling a stretch across the upper back. Your hips are working as well. You're going to feel stretches in the hips, and you're balancing on one foot. There's a lot going on. Other side, we're in chair. And then we bring the left arm under the right arm. And then we bring the left leg up, if you want. You don't have to do this if you don't want. Now once I've got my left leg on top, I try and squeeze those legs together. And then I try and hook the foot. Sometimes it goes, sometimes it doesn't. I'm having to work at this one. This side is a bit more challenging. And then we center the arms, we sit down a little bit, and we breathe. And we release. I don't think I've done full eagle for a while, so that's a bit of a challenge. Okay, interlace the fingers, open the chest, bend the knees, and we're just going to lean forward and rest the belly on the legs. Head is totally relaxed, you're looking between the legs, and we start bringing the arms up. Now you want to try, it's almost like you're trying to relax the shoulders here. So don't go to your limit. Just find a nice spot, relax, and then maybe you can get a little deeper. But keep the shoulders nice and happy. And as we come out, we bend the knees, and we release the arms as we fold up, and we shake everything out. Okay, I think we'll do some mat work. So if you have a block handy, the block is good because you guys can go into a restorative bridge if you have a block. Oh, another nice thing, if you have two blocks, let me show you guys something. So if you have two blocks, what is nice to do, and it's nice and relaxing, is you have one block at the top of at the bottom, well, where your head's going to go, and I have it at half height. And then I'm going to be on the other block. So it's going to be high up my back between the shoulder blades. So if you don't have blocks, don't worry. But this is just a nice, relaxing pose. And sometimes I'll start off a class like this, and we're just bringing the head onto one block, and you're bringing the arms either side of you. And it's just relaxing, but it opens the front body. Probably most of you don't have two blocks, but I'm just sort of showing you guys. If you don't have blocks, get some blocks, get a strap. What we're going to do, we're going to go into bridge, and again bridge, you can have a block handy, and you get the same effect of getting that opening of the upper front body. So come onto your back again, walk the feet in. The feet are parallel, and then we lift the hips up. So I'm keeping the knees, hips and shoulders lined up. I could bring the hips up higher, but be careful that doesn't put pressure on the back. The glutes are working and the legs are working a lot. And then we interlace the fingers. We walk the arms in closer and closer and closer, and a little bit more, and then we push the arms into the ground. Head is pushing the ground. Remember, gaze towards the ceiling. Please do not turn the head from side to side. And we're opening the whole front body. We're keeping the legs parallel. Don't let the knees splay out, and you're breathing. There should be no pressure on the neck. For those of you that have a block, you can take the block, hopefully you can find it easily, and I would have it at half height, and you just slide it underneath the sacrum, not the lower back, just below the lower back, underneath the sacrum, and you can bring the arms either side of you, and you can totally relax. If you don't have a block, you can just come all the way down to the ground. And it's sort of like Shavasana, but with the feet pulled in, and you can relax like that. Let's take about 3 or 4 breaths here. You're either on the block in a restorative bridge, or you're in Shavasana with the knees bent. If you're on the block, you remove the block, put the block to one side, you pull the knees in nice and close, and we just roll from side to side. Just massaging the sacrum. We bring the hands onto the knees, and we circle the hands and knees in one direction. And we circle in the other direction. And then we take hold of the back of the legs and we rock ourselves up. So earlier, and we did this pose, we did cow face poses a few weeks ago. So earlier today we had this action with the arms, where we brought one arm behind the back and we hooked the hands like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a hip opener, and then we're going to do that with the arms. As I say, if that's tough on the arms, you just hold on to the opposite elbows. So we're going to get into what's called cow face pose. So I'm bringing my right foot in, and I'm bringing my left leg on top like this. So this is basically how we would get into the twist. But in cow face pose, what we want to do, we want to try and get that top leg into contact with the bottom leg. Now the only way I can get anywhere near that is I have to come up and I have to squeeze those legs together, and then I come sitting down. Now my left knee is on top, which means my right elbow's got to go up to the ceiling. So I'm bringing my left arm behind me, back of the hand between the shoulder blades, and then I'm hooking the fingers. And as I say, if this is tough, you can just hold on to the opposite elbows. So this is cow face pose, Gomukhasana. The back, you're trying to keep the back nice and neutral. So we're getting a hip opener, we're getting a shoulder opener. We're trying not to let that arm push into the head. So you're not pushing the head around with the arm. And then we release. And if you remember last time, we walked through 360, keeping the feet pretty well in place. So I'm going to go clockwise through 360 degrees. And we end up with the other knee on top. Well, almost on top. So again, I have to come up, I have to squeeze those legs together. Just do what feels good for you. You know, remember, keep nice and safe. So I'm getting the feel it in the hips, and then either holding onto the opposite elbows, or you can bring that back of the right hand between the shoulder blades, between the middle back. You bring the left arm up, you try and hook those fingers, try not to push into the neck too much. I know it's difficult to avoid that, but try your best. And once you're there, I try and slide that lower hand up the back. And then I'm sitting up nice and tall. And you breathe. And then we release, we unwind. Release the legs. That feels so good, right? And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Here is where a block is useful. So as I say, you know, if you don't, it looks like we're going to be doing these virtual classes for a while. I know they're finally going to open some gyms here, but there's going to be reduced attendance and reduced number of classes, so probably virtual classes are going to continue for a while. So having sort of the props, the blocks and the straps at home is useful. So in Gomukhasana, I fidget a lot, I rock from side to side. I've got my heels in pretty close, but you know, you don't have to have them too close. If that's the problem, you can have the heels further away. You try to make a diamond shape with the legs. And if your back is rounded, then sitting on the block is really helpful. Once I'm here, I'll get a good grip of the hands, and I'm using quite a lot of arm strength. I'm pulling those hips forward, trying to get that back neutral, and then I'll rock. As I rock, my heels are getting a little bit closer, and then I'll try and bring those knees closer towards the ground. Inhale, pulling forward, opening the chest, and then exhale, those knees are coming down to the ground. Gomukhasana. Opening the inside of the hips. You're breathing. and then we release. Another nice hip opener, which we do quite often, is reclined pigeon or regular pigeon, but I think we'll do reclined pigeon today. Come onto your back. And we bring the right foot, the outer of the right ankle onto the left leg. So we're making the shape of a figure 4 with this right leg. And then we take hold of the back of that left leg. And the foot that's close to you is flexed, dorsiflexion, and you're pulling that leg in closer and closer. But at the same time, you want to try and keep the tailbone low to the ground. You're keeping the chin tucked, back of the head on the ground. And maybe rock from side to side, just see how that feels. And again, we're getting stretch on the outside of that right hip. And then we switch legs. Don't forget this top foot flexed. Keep that keeps the knee safe. Holding onto the back of the right leg, so that left hand goes between the legs, between the window of the legs. You're pulling the legs in, tailbone down. And you quite a lot of arm strength pulling the legs in. And then rock from side to side a few times. After this one, I like just to pull the knees in and come into happy baby. So I'm holding onto the feet. You can hold onto the inside or the outside of the feet. The legs are wide apart, so the knees are outside the ribs. And then hold onto the big toes. And see if you can straighten the legs into a V, or at least get them a little bit straighter. Again, tailbone is low, chin is tucked, you're breathing. If you've got tight hamstrings, a lot of people's knees are going to stay bent. So just keep the knees bent, just do what is good for you. Don't try too hard. And we release. We take hold of the back of the legs and we rock ourselves into boat. And in boat, you can just hang out like this if you want. So I always tell people not to try too hard. If there's a point where you're putting effort into something, but if you try too hard, your body will sort of tighten up, and you just sort of you're not letting the body assist you. The body's trying. If you try too hard, the body's almost like fighting what you're trying to get to. Arms either side of you. You're getting a neutral back, and then if you want more challenge, we bring the legs up. So we're trying to get that nice V shape. Check the knees. Make sure the knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. You're breathing. So it's almost like I'm trying to push the big toes into each other. A lot of core work on this one. And then we lower, not all the way, so like a scooping action. We bring the hands behind the head, supporting the head. The lower back is pushed into the ground, abs of steel, for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we lower slowly all the way to the ground. And we can relax. And then we take a full body stretch. We're reaching with the arms and the legs. We're trying to get as much length as we can. We take a little bit of a side stretch, shifting the hips in one direction as the legs, arms go in the opposite direction, stretching out the side body. And then we stretch out the other side. And then we recenter. We we pull the knees in and just rock from side to side. And then let's get into Shavasana. Legs extended again. Plenty of space between the feet, arms either side of you, palms facing up, eyes closed, and just totally relax. Just check things out, working from the feet. I like to work from the feet up. Just make sure you're not holding any tension. Letting the legs, the hips relax. The back, the head, shoulders just sinking into the ground. Face is soft, no tension in the face. And usually I'll have the palms up. That tends to open up the upper chest a little bit more. Breathing is regular. Try and keep focus on the breath, but you're not controlling the breath. And just let yourself become one with the earth. So start taking deeper breaths. And then walk the feet in. Knees come in and just roll over to one side. And gently push yourself into a seated position. Inhale the arms up, palms together. Exhale as you're bringing the hands down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the palms together, keep the palms at the chest. 2 breaths, 3 arms. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Namaste. Thank you so much.